Hello everyone and welcome back to our Moneyball series here with Barnsley. Right, a quick one from me to you, basically everybody watching this. I want to say a big thank you to all of you that have been a part of this series at any point really, whether you start watching recently, you've watched the whole way through. This series has been going on since before summer in the spring. We're basically almost 6 months in at this point to this series, which is just absolutely incredible. And I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you before we finish this and really acknowledge the support everybody's given me on this series. And the reason that I had to finish this series is twofold really. One, the fact that so many of you put so many of your hours into watching the series has been phenomenal. And I thank you so much for that. And there was never any point, there was never a question in my mind, no matter how my life was going, that I was ever going to not finish this series before FM23 came out. So that's the first thing I wanted to say was that. I had to pivot to obviously making the videos in Twitch, which I didn't want to do, but I had to really to get the videos out and stuff right. And for those that come over to Twitch, you'll see how frustrated that I was getting with the team. Honestly, I cannot believe this team. Every tactic that we've used another saves has worked with every other team except for this bloody one, but we're getting there. Come back to that in a second. Yeah, and the frustration just comes from really knowing that it actually got quite tight for me time-wise to make sure that we got this done in time. It really got quite close, but I just want you to know that I went pretty much out of my way to make sure I got it done for everybody, because I really want you to know how much it meant to me to make sure I had it done for you, and how, to me, it would almost be disrespectful of me to ask you all to invest your time into my channel and my series without me finishing it, right? So it had to be done. So I don't want you to ever feel like it was never going to be done. It was always going to be done, and it is going to be done, as you're about to find out in the rest of this episode, as we're about to go through it together. And this is the final season. We are gonna succeed or fail in the next 5 league games, by the way. Just so you know, there is no more season. This will be the last one. And I have been doing a lot of live streams, and I just thought that for the last episode, let's go back to doing it in a recording. So it is me to you. There's nobody in the chat to get involved with it. It's just a direct connection, me to you and the channel. And you know, this series means a lot to me. I was saying earlier that in the stream that I did earlier on before I played a bit off camera, that when January 1st of this year, effectively I was in the UK. I hadn't started at Sports Interactive yet. I just got back to the UK. I was unemployed effectively at that point. I hadn't started at SI at that point. I was in the UK. I just got back to the country. I was unemployed. I had 600 subscribers maybe to the channel, and I had 0 on Twitch. I hadn't even streamed on Twitch yet at that point. So January 1st, came back to the country. I was unemployed. I had about 600 subscribers on YouTube, maybe about that, and I had 0 on Twitch. So I hadn't even streamed yet. That's where I was at, right? And when I started at SI, that isn't what changed this channel and this community that we have. That never changed anything. Maybe 100 subscribers extra, but that's sort of it was almost in line with where the channel was at that point, because the Barcelona series was doing okay. But what changed was this series. The Moneyball series is where everything changed for me, and it's all thanks to you, where the channel was basically, after that series release, it was on a trajectory about something like this, right? I don't know if you can see this, like that. And then something big quite happened during that series. About 4 weeks into our series, I'm saying our series if you're with me, especially at that point, and almost like a month into that series, RDF made his own YouTube series, his own Twitch series doing Moneyball. And the best thing that he did, and I have so much respect for him for this, is he made a YouTube video talking about it, and he made sure that it was known to everybody that he got his idea from my channel, and gave him a massive shout, gave him a shout on Twitter, and that's when it went from like there up to there, right, almost. So those two things, it was going well anyway, and that's what gave it another level. And I said this earlier on my stream, I was never the first person to come up with the Moneyball concept in FM. I can remember seeing somebody doing this on Football Manager 2006, because the book Moneyball came out in 2003, and I remember seeing somebody, I don't know if it was on SI forums, it was somewhere on the internet where somebody was doing it. So it goes back that far. So I've never claimed to be the inventor of the Moneyball in FM. But when we did it in this series, it started off like a new trend. Like there were like loads of different creators started to do Moneyball series, videos, etc., right? So it was great, and it was brilliant to see this new wave of Moneyball coming, inspired by this series. And the series was just synonymous with my channel for a bit. I've been called the Moneyball guy when it comes to FM. Moneyball's become synonymous with me as a content creator, which I don't consider myself that still. I still consider myself as a football coach and analyst. So I happen to work at SI. I'm not a content creator as per se in my own view, but I do create content. Yeah, I just wanted to say a massive thank you. And we're going to strap ourselves in and go through this together. And this is 6 months of our work coming out into one window here. It's been, honestly, these last 2 seasons, I can't remember the last time I got this angry or frustrated. And the players in FM, like honestly, Chelsea have averaged like 60 points every season, and now they're getting like 85s against us. Incredibly annoying. But we're in a title race that we can win. Will we win? I don't know. So that was the first thing, was that I wanted to make sure that we got it done. That's where the first bit of the frustration comes from. So I wanted to make sure I got it done for all of you, because you all deserve it. You know, you've been able to make this series great. I want to pay the favour. So there's a time constraint there. Second part to it is just competitiveness, really. Like, you know, I've done 3 Moneyball series now, 2 on Twitch, 1 on YouTube. This one was first. And the 2 of the Moneyball series on Twitch have gone really well. The success rate is really good. The teams that we play have done really well. And like, you know, I think with Boston, tier 6 of England, we won the Champions League we won everything, in 20 years. And with the 1860 Munich, we won everything within 12, I think it was. We were tier 3 in Germany, right? So there's been huge success in the Moneyball series on both of those series, but for some reason, not this one. And that has been incredibly frustrating. And because it was the first one, and it's quite a special series to my heart, I don't want it to end in failure, but I've also run out of time to keep playing seasons. This is the last season. So I really, really, really don't want this to end in a failure, and we didn't achieve our objectives. And hopefully you're wanting the team to win with me. This is it. This is the title race in front of you. That's all I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to say is a big thank you to explain where we're at. This has been the most tense series I've done, where I have felt the pressure to make sure that we get it done and to make sure we get it done properly. And yeah, I think in the live streams, you can see me like no filter. That is me real. There's no act. There's no persona being put on. That is just me, you know, and I'm just super competitive and I get annoyed, and yeah, just so everyone knows. But here we go. Right, state of play. So you're joining me, and we don't care about any of the other competitions at all. Like, we've won everything else. We don't care, including Champions League. Don't care about the Champions League at all. We've got 5 league games left. Norwich at home, Everton away, Arsenal at home, Chelsea away, Southampton away. Quite tough fixtures compared to the Chelsea, really. We are 4 points clear. That isn't a good thing necessarily, because we play Chelsea away. So let's assume that's a defeat, which it will be in a second, I'm sure. That puts us really 1 point ahead, and the goal difference is really close. So it's like, look at this. For those of you that haven't seen the streams, Chelsea 79 points, right? 91 points here. So last year, when we should have won the title, they won on goal difference, right? The season before that, Chelsea got 60 points. The season before that, they got 62 points. The season before that, they got 67 points. The season before that, they got 55 points. The season before that, they got 78 points. Okay, season before that, they got 65 points. And then before they finally got a 90, which is still less than what we got. Basically, they've never got that high in the entire day. But for some reason, when we finally had a title race, we had a title race. They had to get that, you know. And their team's gotten worse, I think, on paper. And they've done it again. And they're the only team again. We're absolutely so far ahead of everybody else. Like, it's honestly, because knowing the way that like teams work, and we've all seen like where in title race the teams get like a big run of games and the morale and form carries them through, how frustrating that can be to play against. I can't wait to see the conclusion of the series, because like it has taken as much out of me as an FM save can. Like, and I mean the last 2 seasons, really, not the season before. They were great. That was great fun working with all of you and all the other stuff. These last 2 seasons have just been frustrating and difficult. So that's the stage. Everybody's strapped in. We can play the first match here against Norwich. As you can all see here, nice and easy. Continue actually a day behind. But yeah, so we're not going to watch any of the games. We're only going to watch Premier League matches. So you're going to see all 5 games, and we're going to look at the Chelsea results, obviously, as well. Ideally, we'd like to go into that Chelsea game needing a draw. I mean, Southampton have beaten me at Southampton every time I played them. So finish the season with 2 defeats quite easily. So that's what I mean. Honestly, right this second, if I had to guess, I say we finish a point short. But let's see what happens. So anyway, let's get into the first game against Norwich. Hopefully we can win. Here we go then. First game. And assistant manager says, carry on your performance from the last match and you should do well. Okay. There's an instant highlight here for us. Larte's going to bang it, and he bangs it over the bar. I don't know how much of the transfer to someone you would have seen. Obviously, it will be up somewhere, but you might have missed the episode. So the first team that's up there now is our best team, except for him, the left winger. Torrin's currently in there for Louise, who's come back into the first team for us. Iredale is fantastic at striking ordinarily, but I don't know. This team sometimes is a bit unusual. Like, we score goals out of nowhere. Miss clear one-on-ones when we can't explain it. Sometimes we look solid defensively, then we give up a cheap goal. They're a very odd team, this team. And I just hope we can get through this. Corner, Cabello, Torrin whips it in, Latte, headed, keeper saves that easy. That's not going to be the end of the highlight, though, I don't think. We look pretty well set there. They're going to play out. Got to win this. Got to get more pressure on them there, really. Can you win it off him? Here we go. We're going to force it long. There we go. That's fine. Win the first, win the second. Where it is, win the first, win the second. Latte, William, Caccioli. Torri on the left-hand side goes wide. He's going to cut it back to Cabello. Cabello far post, is it? Nope. Cuts it back to Corrin again. Little too patient right, like, and William shoots from about 35 yards. That is 1-0. That'll do nicely. Yeah, we'll say things go well, but find another gear. Eli doesn't come off. We'll put on Riff out on the right-hand side. We'll take off Kite, shoot off here, and Eli Miguel on the right, the left centre midfield. Torrin's got a knock. Let's take him off and let's whack on, I think, Torona, yeah, left-hand side. Cabello, Pellegrini plays it back to the goalkeeper. Right back, can we get on it? Can we get on it? Right back, okay, don't. Pellegrini, William, Eli, William, Pellegrini, Torone. Torone carries it inside. Iredale breaks through. Look at this. Look at that. Well, that's what he can do. Right-footed Haaland is what he is. Do you know? Eli and William linking up here. Lucas Silva. It's going to be a nice patient build-up at the start of this move. And then we whack it into Iredale. Goes through 1-on-1. Is he going to score it again? No, it's blocked. Iredale has it. Plays out to Stapley. Elliott plays it into William. William into Eli. Eli into Torone, who's got to be offside. And he is. It's a highlight for Norwich. They have it on the left-hand side. Elliott tackles him. Elliott's and Iredale the link up here. Latte, Torone goes through. Oh, I thought it was going to be a penalty. And this corner is going to be, headed in 3, which could be good for goal difference. That's why that's why it's like a little celebration, a little cheer, because goal difference could come into it. We don't know yet. It's quite close. Eli whips it in, far post, Lucas Silva headed in, it's touched in. Pellegrini gets the second, and it's 4-0. It's a free kick headed in. Pellegrini with a hat trick, so he's got one from a corner. Another one that's like a deflected second phase corner where it's like hit him and gone in. And then, wow, whatever that is, 5-0. Last highlight of the game you'd expect. William has it on the right-hand side. There's it to Riff far post to Ren. I think he's onside as well. I think that's 6. I think he's good. That is 6. They have it 6-0 to Barnsley. That's a great start to the, I was going to say stream. It's not a stream. Episode, I guess, is what it's going to be. We'll take that. Yeah, great result. 6-0. And we'll sit back and let's see what the rest of the teams do, what Chelsea do. Chelsea won their game that we didn't get to see. I think they played Burnley and won 1-0. And they won 1-0. Everton, we have next. We played Liverpool in the Champions midweek. I played the whole B team. We lost 3-2. Who cares? Like, I played the whole B team. So most players are pretty fresh. We've got 3 injuries. Elliott, right back, is out, injured. My first choice CDM is out. My backup right back is out. So we're going to play Lucas Silva right back. Now, this lad, Daniel Sanchez, every time I'm about to play him at centre back, he's actually been pretty good so far. I don't know how fast he is, but he's been pretty good so far. So that's going to be the team. My only concern is CDM, but we'll see how we do. I have no idea. We ran out of options at this point. Assistant manager says, media comments, okay. Instant highlight by the looks of it. Not sure that's a good thing or not. Well, we'll find out when we... Manuel plays it long into Luke. It's headed back to the goalkeeper. I mean, I'm not too tense yet, because I feel like we should still come away and win this game. It'll be those final 2 games are going to be the most tense I've ever had on the stream. On camera, YouTube or Twitch, I think it'll be. Eli Andrew plays it into Bruno Luis. Please finish it, Bruno. Yes, good start. Come on, Barnsley. With a throw in, throws into Eli Andrew. Aren't they going to clear it though? Or Everton? Biggs has it. Oh no. Can win the tackle. Yes, well done. Luke's got it. Links up with our CDM. He just got to play this one game for us and hope that we do all right with him in there. Because I mean, William should be back for the crucial games at the end of the season. Lucas Silva has it on the right hand side. Whacks it in the far post. It's headed clear. Camillo Cabello has it, left-hand side. Look at the feet from that. Oh, it's going to be cleared by Everton. Nice recovery runs from our boys there. Good counter press a little bit from the left-hand side. Midfield, Bruno Luis has got it. Plays it into Luke. Luke surely can finish it. What a player. What a player he is. As Chelsea win up in their game as well. Like for Everton, they had the ball here. They're going to play it to their centre-backs and play across the defensive line. I'm not sure what you're doing running there. Oh, my God. Right centre-back. Oh, come on. Come on. No. 2-1. Not happy with that. Camillo Cabello throws it in Bruno Luis. Goes into the goalkeeper's hands. Hopefully Sanchez goes and heads this time. He's 6'6". Oh, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Right. Larteg has it. Plays into Leandro. Leandro plays an absolutely rubbish ball. Oh, we'll take that. Thank you, Everton. Everton clearly want Barnsley to win the league title. Good header, Usman. Love that. Everton have a highlights. They're going to throw it to Biggs. That Hope has it. They play it into Camillo Cabello. Go long. Get out, Luke. Oh, referee. He's only... That's game over. That's game over. That's a red card. Okay, so we finished 3-1. We did get a red card ourselves towards the end of the game. Marco Pellegrini got a straight red. I think it was a straight red, actually. I'm not sure. Which doesn't help us in the next game because he's a good centre-back. But, I mean, as long as our right-back is back, that's fine because we can then play Lucas Silva and Sanchez centre-back. But it depends if they are out. Is either these two back? Problem next game, that. Who's next as well? Is it Chelsea next? It's Arsenal, then it's Chelsea. Okay, well, that's the first problem coming up, I reckon. Okay, I'll see you in a few days for the Arsenal game. Okay, so if I thought we were going to do it, I thought Chelsea had to drop points to Liverpool away and just get a draw, but they won. So here we go. This is it. This is the final straight. I've got my last cup of tea next to me for this entire save. 6 months of work comes up right now. Arsenal home is first. Here we go. Right, we've got a lot of players out, so especially both right backs and starting CDM again. So I'm going to play him. Basically, I've gone with putting the most natural players, the most natural positions with the attributes that match the role the most. Like, that sounds quite logical, but Keane Moose is a really, really good player, and trying to shoehorn him in at right back has worked in previous matches, but a couple of times it's really caught us out where he's just been getting dragged all over the place. I think this is the safest thing to do. Lucas Silva playing right back. Cabot Townsend comes in for one last big match at centre back for us. And hopefully it's the right decision. Assistant manager says, media comments, okay, they did just win the Champions League semi-final in the midweek. Play for Arsenal. They had the ball deep on the left-hand side. They're going to play it back to the centre-back. Play around. Should we go into that? Got to get to that or got to win that. I said both those together. Cabello plays back to Sanchez. Vladir, Bruno Luis to Iredale. Oh, Latte was in, but he's not going to get to that. And see, that's where I think that, bollocks. That's where Prosper William is really good. Like, he would have got to that thing and nailed that player and won the ball. But that player couldn't quite get to it. Iredale's in, though. Is it a foul? If it is it a red card? I don't know what's going to happen here. This could be a penalty. Yellow card could be outside there. A red card, it could be, or it could be no foul at all. What's it going to be? We'll see. I don't know who's taking it. They're left-footed, whoever it is. Could be Katrilli. Yeah, it is Ernst. Scores! Come on, Barnsley! Absolutely nothing else has happened this entire half. Here we go. Finally got a highlight here. Latte has it. Gives it away. No, he's giving it away. Lopez for Arsenal, left-hand side. He plays it back to their left-back. Plays it inside again. Fairs. Oh, my God. We win it here. Luis with the Camillo Cabello. Bruno Luis travels with it. Oh, and then he got through to Latte. This could be anybody's highlight. This still could go to either team. This could be a crucial one for the whole title race, whole series right here. Who's going to get to it? Sanchez gets to it first. Lucas Silva, Townsend, Cabot Townsend, Latte. Can we try to get progressive passing the CDM? Good. And another one? Yeah, good. Okay. And again? Yeah, I love that. That's one of the best bits of football we played all year. Playing through the lines. Not having to rely too much on a dribble. We dribbled there, but we got through the lines first. Not to him. Not to him, please. Get him off the ball. Latte. Use the right back, Lucas Silva. Goes wide. Goes a bit too wide, probably. Latte's going to get to it, though. Plays it across Bruno Luis. He gets it. Goal. Come on! Come on, Barnsley! Rani, I thought he overcooked this a little bit, but luckily he just about keeps this in, does Latte. Whacks it to the far post, and Bruno Luis with an unbelievable finish. Not the best player attributes-wise, Moneyball-wise. He's overtaken somebody who's much better than him with attributes because he does the bloody business when it matters. Or does it as much as the other player, but the other player is better coming from the bench. Loads of other stuff. Bruno Luis is good, but if you looked at his attributes, you'd think Europa League, top 4 level winger. Nah, it's offside. And it missed anyway. Oh, it wasn't offside, so I'm pleased he missed that. If you looked at him, you would think he's a kind of starting level winger that gets you top 4 or something at best. But he's in the team because he does the business. He's reliable. He gets good stats. He gets good match ratings. He plays his part in the team. He does all of it. Don't get sent off there. This could be a highlight for Arsenal. Yeah, fuck. 2-1. I'm playing Cabello centre-back. I'm going to move him to left-back because I don't trust this back four the way it currently is. But everybody ahead of them, Lucas Silva's playing the worst, but he's our best player. It's the role. Complete wing-backs get not good match ratings, especially in this tactic. So, right, second chain. I think Eli Andrew's going to come off. Let's throw on. I mean, Bruno Luis is a bit tired, though. That's my only concern here. Maybe Eli can go on. It's running on the right. Let's do that first. And Bruno Luis has to come off and put Torre on the left-hand side. Let's do that. Let's go defensive, trying to see out the game. It's only a 1-goal lead. Do what we normally do. We've done all we can. We've done all we can. There's a highlight here, and it's going to be an easy save for the goalkeeper. Oh! Ooh. All we can. Like having Sanchez and Cabello at centre-back is better than having Townsend in there. Light still got it. Into Lucas Silva. Can win a corner or something. Far post gone for Torrin. Torrin's headed it towards goal. The keeper collects that with ease. It's a highlight for Arsenal. Arsenal have got it. Torrin sort of won it. That's a red card, referee. That's a red card highlight, surely. Yes! It's a red card. Come on. And they have it. They have it. That's the first one up the way. First one of 3. We get the win at home against Arsenal. Crucial. Very important. Now, see, I'm still looking at like we've got to go to the last day of the season. But, I mean, in theory, we could win the title right here against Chelsea with a win. For those of you that watched the last episode, you'll know how stressful this has been. And the fact that we need a draw in this last game here. We just need a draw. I do not want to go to that game against Southampton needing a result. So I'll see you in a second for the Chelsea game. Okay, same problem again. Right back, but the right backs are out. They can't play, not fit enough. So it's going to be, luckily though, Lucas Silva play right back, and we have Dan Sanchez and Pellegrini at centre back. But this time, Cabello is out. So we have to go with Priest at left back. But Prosper Lima's also back. So it's like sideways movements, really, isn't it? You're getting some, you're losing some. But overall, it all comes down to this. This has been 6 months in the making. This entire save. Those who started watching way back in, is it April or May? I can't remember at this point. 6 months ago, I looked at it the other day. It all comes down to this. All comes down to this one game. If we lose this game, I'm telling you, we're not coming to the title because we will lose drop points to Southampton. We've lost them every point. We've lost points to them every time. This is the game, and we have to draw. We just have to draw. Come on, Barnsley. Assistant manager says, this is an important match for us. Make sure you give the fans a good performance, okay? What do you want for them? No more Mbappe for them. He retired last season. It's happened for the first 15 minutes. It's probably a good thing for us. I like it for Chelsea. They get the ball in behind. The left back's got himself sent off. I love Chelsea. They're probably going to score straight after. There is. Goal. 1-0 Chelsea. It's offside. I love Chelsea. Musiala. Musa. Garbo. They go through. Lozano. Keeper saves it. Just. Half-time. 0-0. We'll say dig in. I'll have to take out somebody here. Let's take out Latte, I think. And let's put... What can you do here? Do you know what? I think that's the best we can do at the moment. I haven't looked at it because I've got Lucas Silva left back now. Our post headed away. Pellegrini's going to get to this. Pellegrini, Lucas Silva plays into Latte, Sanchez to William to Sanchez to Pellegrini to Latte, Pellegrini. It's a bit too patient for 10 men. Eli Andro, right hand side. Plays it across. And the keeper collects that. So, it's not looking good. They go long. Pellegrini wins it. Larte's got a bit of time, though, a bit of space. Plays to Eli Andrew. Eli, I need something from you, mate. Eli Andrew, I need something from you big time in this. Oh, Sanchez, what are you doing? Oh, my God. Right. Right, Eli Miguel go left centre mids. And then we'll put Torrin left wing. We need something different in this team at the moment. It's an highlight for Chelsea after the subs. Dead ball. They go far post. Lucas Silva wins it. Goalkeeper. The striker's got to it. Lucas got to it. Iredale has got. Make the run. Make the run. Eli Andrew's at the back post. There he is. Big Eli Andrew. His shot is blocked though. William does get to it though. He can basically do 2 roles in possession, William. So he's okay being the right back, I think. Torrin has it. Nah, no chance. Right here for Chelsea. This is on key highlights, by the way. So here we go. Chelsea have it. Eli just won it. Torrin's got it. Torrin's got it. Plays it to Latte. Latte to Torrin. We've probably got to score in this highlight. We aren't going to get too many of these, are we? No, it's going to be Chelsea's highlight anyway. There they are. They're in behind all day. All day for Chelsea. Far post. Go watch out for far posts. I know we've won it there. Eli Andrew, pathetic attempt to get to the ball. And Chelsea can have their highlight now. Or that's just over. I think Eli Andrew has to come off. I think he's being useless. But it's like... You've only got 1 sub left, and he's one of the few players that can do sort of 2 jobs and really help us out, and so can Iredale and so can the right back, so that's why I don't take him off yet. But he's on a 6.3, not playing well. Last is Eli Miguel. Torrin has it. Luke Iredale almost got to that. That was close. As Chelsea play out from the back. Nice and easy there for them. Musiala. William has it. Pellegrini. Eli Miguel. Plays up to Torrin. Torrin has it. Torrin still plays it across to Luke. Come on! Come on, Barnsley! Come on! 1-0. Game changer at the bridge. There's still a long way to go. They only need, well, they need 2 goals. But if they get 1, we'll be sitting ducks for the seconds. I don't know who to take off. Eli Andrew's on a 6.3, but he's one of the few players that I think can do 2 jobs. They want a back 3 here. That's interesting. That's going to benefit them, but not really. Go on then. Eli Andrew. Williams made that run. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, bollocks. Oh, no. Chelsea still have the ball. Camavinga has it. Oh, we just need to hope that they miss 1 or 2 of their highlights that they get, because they're going to get them. We're going to hold out for a bit here, but they're going to come back again with Antonio Silva, who that is. Oh, Musiala's in, doesn't miss. Oh, he has missed. Eli Andrew, I'm going to have to take you off. You're the only player left that's playing absolute shite out there. I'm going to bring on Serrano on the right-hand side, and that's going to be our last sub. Oh, my God. And we just survived. Highlight here. We start the ball from a goal kick, which I don't like, but Lucas Silva's completely open from their back 3, not really pressing the fullback there. Eli Miguel has it. Get rid of it. No. Could have played it in behind or somebody there. Garber has it. Better to Camavinga. Play back across. Keeper collects it. He still could be Chelsea's highlight, though. It might just take a bit longer for it to come back towards the goal. Goalkeeper's going to hopefully launch this. Don't roll that short. As Luke Iredale is up there. Doesn't get even near it, though. As Chelsea come back at us again. A bit of an overload here. Antonio Silva, though, through. Is he going to shoot? Does. Oh, you're joking. Of all the ways for it to go in. Do you know what I mean? Fuck's sake. Late on, highlight for Chelsea. We've won the ball. Can we create an attack from it, though? No, we're not going to, are we? Oh, we might do now. Lucas Silva, Torrin. It's going to be out. We need to score. We need to score. We need to score, Torrin.
Aguero!
Come on, Torrin, you legend. The guy that got written up as Fernando Torres, he missed so many chances for us. I wrote him off as an absolute flop. Tried to sell him actually at one point. Has come up in the most incredible moment. And the Moneyball Barnsley team are going to win the Premier League. We're going to complete the save. We're going to finish our objectives. We're going to do it. And we're going to beat the AI Chelsea team to the Premier League title. I don't believe it. Oh, and Cult of Personality is playing in my ears. It's just, oh, wow. That is the biggest relief I have ever had in Football Manager history. to finish that. Oh, thank God for that. We did it. We did it. We actually managed to do it. We had to get 95 points and beat Chelsea away from home to do it. Otherwise, they would have won it again. And they would have finished on about 95 points themselves. I'm so surprised we did that. I thought when they got their first one, they were going to do. I'm so pleased that Torrent scored that. It's quite fitting. He became like an icon of the stream part of the series when we went to like stream to YouTube, from Twitch to YouTube, sort of like stream on Twitch, upload to YouTube. I called him Fernando Torres because when he was on form, he reminded me of Fernando Torres at Liverpool. When he was out of form, he reminded me of Fernando Torres at Chelsea. And we had this start of the season where he started like 9 games and didn't score a single goal. And he just scored the winner for us in the Premier League. Wow. Honestly, I've never felt a relief like that. I don't think, especially in the content. Like, you go through all the series. If you've been a part of the channel for a while, that was like... It was because it was time constraints, but I cared about this save so much, and I know that people did as well, and people wanted to see a conclusion to it. And that was crazy. That was the last season. If we had not won the Premier League then, I would have counted that as a fail. I'd have been a failure that season and that save. But we did it. But we did it just in the nick of time. We managed to win the Premier League, and oh my God. That's what next series is going to be. There'll be a Simeone recreation, a Pep recreation. There'll be at least 2, maybe 3 Moneyball series coming up soon as well, which obviously will be of interest to a lot of people. There'll definitely be Moneyball series. There'll be at least 3, probably more than that. Again, I don't know what's going to come first yet, if I'm perfectly honest. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to play these remaining games off camera, and then we're going to come back after this, and then we're going to go through like the previous years, basically turn the attribute reel on, and yeah, go through all the leagues together. Go for a trip down memory lane, and we'll see how things are looking. We're back in a few minutes with you. Okay, welcome back. So we actually ended up winning the treble. We actually finished off the save, winning the treble, which is really good, obviously. To finish on that, it was a beautiful ending. Matteo Torrent scored again. He became a club legend, didn't he, really? He became a club legend. He became a club legend in the end, to be honest. I finished up as a legend, thank God for that, after all the work we did for this team. So, like, big picture stuff, a quick review of that. We won everything by 2036, a little later than I would have hoped for, but we did do it in the end. That's the main thing, I suppose. With the new stadium being built as well, which is good. The club finished off with, you know, a projection of us being well in the plus for money, in a good financial position, which I suppose is always a part of, well, it's not about putting the company in a good financial position, it's about spending within your means in the end, I suppose. We did spend a lot of installments in the years leading up to this, but it was always with a plan to get us back on track. So, yeah, that works out well in the end. Our total net spend as manager, are you ready for this? Our total net spend was like minus 200 million. Look, we made 200 million pound profit on players that we managed to bring in and that we bought, etc. Which is incredible, and you know, quite sensational really that we managed to do it. That's quite a good start to have, I think, at the end of a Moneyball save. That's probably the big one, the good indicator of how you've been able to do it. Right, let's go back on a journey then, go back to season 1, I think. Well, first of all, let's do a final play attribute reveal first. So that's how your goalkeeper finished. I mean, so that is how your goalkeeper finished. I mean, Mladen was just amazing, wasn't he? What a sign. We bought him in the end for 55 million from United. I remember at the time thinking, oh, it's a lot, but there aren't many goalkeepers I was set on. His stats were off the scale, and we had enough money at the time to do it. I think it was definitely worth it. Yeah, what a player. Can't say enough high things about him. He cost us a couple of goals, passing up from the back, but I think most keepers would have done that. I think that was him. It was more the way the tactic was working, sort of thing. So, yeah, absolute club legends. First up for player I've got to look at is Eli. Eli was a club legend. We bought Eli all the way back in 2025 for £9.5 million. And just look at him. Look what he achieved for us. Some of those years, he was sensational. That he carried us that year. A lot of assists, even just a couple of years ago, he got most assists. Club legends, like absolute hero of the football club. He actually just asked to leave in the save, which I thought was quite sad because like a nice sad. Like he basically said, "Look, I've achieved everything I can at the club. Can I have permission to move on?" And obviously said yes to him in the save. I'll put the save up if you want to keep playing the save. If you want to keep playing it on from where this point leaves off, feel free. Yeah, what a legend Eli was for this football club. Probably the best sign we made. Money, not just the money spent, but the timing of the signing and what he did. He's probably got to be up there with the very, very best. So, legend. Well, let's start with the centre-backs, Marco Pellegrini. I mean, okay, great example of Moneyball. Attributes-wise, is he the best centre-back? No, probably not even close. He might even have been my third or fourth best centre-back at any given season that he was with us. However, he played amazingly and his stats were consistently the best, and I just trusted him the most from watching the games. And it just shows, you know, there's a different way to play FM. It's not about, this series isn't about saying attributes don't matter, they do. It's about saying there is another way to play, is what this really is about. You know, it's not about saying this way is better than the other. Here's another way to play. Here's the Moneyball strategy, you know. And it worked for Pellegrini. He cost us 22.5 million. I nearly got him the year before that I actually got him. And the only reason it put me off was he had only played 13 starts. There you go. That's when he played. And I'm in an area, and eventually we pulled the plug on it. And managed to get him in. Lucas Silva, world-class centre-back for the years we had him. Again, cost-effective, 12.5 million. Probably, you know, one of the best centre-backs in the world. Brilliant signing. Loved him. Elliot Stapley. Yeah, he came in and he was what we needed. He was nothing special. Did the bits and pieces roles, did the bare minimums. That's what he had to do. And was quite solid for £24 million. I nearly bought him for like 70 a few years before at Liverpool. So that ended up being a really good deal in the end for about half of what I was going to pay for him. Well, less than half in the first place. Camilo Cabello, like either the best defensive left back in the world or one of the best centre backs in the world, depending on how you want to play. He played left back for us, but he played centre back sometimes too. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. What a player. And cost me 71 when we go big on him, but I knew he was going to be great. And I think that's the thing, like, you're looking for value. It's not just about can I get somebody for 50 grand and turn him into a £70 million player? That's great. But it's about as well, what is the value of that player in the money you're spending? Are they worth the value you're spending? At the time, we had a big transfer budget and 70 million. His stats were worth 70 million. We needed that extra level of tackle win. I think his tackle win ratio, head on ratio was both like 7% above what we needed. And I think his dribbles per night was also good. So he was much better defensively and just as good in possessions. Like, bloody hell, he's better in every possible way. So I was happy to go big. Same for Prosper William. World class. He's like perfect CDM, really, wasn't he? Absolutely perfect. All the best ones you can think of, he was up there with them. Big money, 69 million, but really worth it. Latte. Okay, so I've not seen Latte actually yet. This is the first time we've seen him. And he's actually pretty good. Cost us a lot of money, but again, well, 35.5 isn't too bad. But he was probably worth the money in hindsight. 20 flair. Didn't know he had that. What a player. Ernst was absolutely class. I mean, I didn't think this tactic would work with a left-footed central midfield player. I just didn't think it would work the same way, but it did. So, yeah, worth the money again. A lot of money spent on him, but 30 goals this season he was directly involved in. He got 30 league goals. He got 15 goals, 15 assists. Like, what's that worth to a Premier League team? If you can get a midfielder, get you 15 goals, 15 assists, how much would that be in real life now? That's pretty more than Kevin De Bruyne, isn't it? I think you're talking like a £90 million player, something like that. So again, like value-wise, is that expensive transfer? Yes. But he cost Villa 56 2 years before, and that was his production in the most crucial and clutch moments of the save. That's what he produced. So was he worth the value? I think the answer is yes. Eli Andro, my favourite player, one of my favourite players. Just 6'1", good in the air for a wide player, good at finishing. He's everything I want in a wide player in FM. He was everything. Cost me £12.5 million. Again, up there, one of the best cost-effective signings of the entire save, along with Eli Miguel. What a player. Eli Miguel, Eli Andro. Can't say enough about him. And the good thing about Eli Andro, the interesting thing, I bought him to be potentially my backup central midfield player when I first looked at his stats. He had really good chances created per 90 and dribbles per 90. And I was looking at his stats thinking, he'll be a good central midfield player, but I didn't need him right that second, so we loaned him back out. And then as he came back, his coach reports went from like 2.5 star to like 4.5 star. And we both know, I don't listen to those reports ever, but I just thought, okay, if my coaches and scouts have had that much of a jump, what's going on here? And that was it. He was brilliant. Bruno Luis. So Bruno Luis actually fell out of favour because he wasn't quite as good as the other wingers. In hindsight, he actually got pretty good, and he actually probably was a top player. And like, I thought that I needed to replace him. We saw his attributes a few years back. I don't know what year it was. Maybe that year. That was an attribute reveal year there. And I remember looking at him thinking, we need to improve on Bruno Luis. And brought in players. And in the end, in this season, he became a starting winger again because he played well pretty consistently. He did the bare minimums and occasionally did something quite incredible. And he's quite a consistent finisher. And his finishing was only 8. So not sure about that. Like, he scored, and he got 17 assists actually. There you go. He did. Wow, okay. Then he got 5 goals this year. I think those 5 goals that he got were all like match winners. Because he every time this season he scored, it was like, I need you to finish. I need you to finish this, and he scored. So also that ends well. Luke Iredale, the probably biggest catalyst signing where we had to go big. He's the most expensive sign. I think I spent a lot of money on him, 71 million. I said on stream at the time, he was the one that was going to change everything because he had pace, but he was also big and good in the air. So Erling Haaland's what I called him, and that's what ended up being. Rene was a backup striker. I thought he was really good for a bit, and then I sort of went off him, and he sort of came back well this year. Look, I mean, last year he did pretty poor. Came back this year and was a lot better. I was pretty good. Torrin, I mean, what can we say about Torrin? Fernando Torres. That is very similar attributes to Fernando Torres in like 2009. I think he had slightly more acceleration, Torres did, but it's very close actually. Similar height, similar weight, I think. Scored the most important goal in the club's history. And will go down as a legend, despite the fact that I hated him for a whole season. I think it was that season. And last season a little bit as well. Boda, wow, he was fast. I had no idea he was that fast. So Boda came in this year, 59 million, to be like a backup winger because he scored pretty hard on a few of the stats, and we had money to bring somebody in. I thought, okay, I need a top-level winger in case Eli Andrew is out, and I didn't realise we did have somebody that was that good. Not as good in the air, but as good as anywhere else, and probably could have played centre mids to a really high level. What a player. King Musa, yeah. What a player as well. Didn't get as much of a chance because he played poorly in the first 2 games of the season. We lost the Community Shield. We lost a couple of games early on, or dropped points, and he was pretty poor. So he got knocked out of the starting team a little bit, but that's a unit right there. This is his real name, by the way, in the game, King Musa. That's not a nickname for me. Conrad Prees. So that is the left back that we won the Premier League with. He started left back for me. Like, goes to show it. Like, he did a good enough job when he started. What was his average rating this year? Oh, really poor. It was completely back there, wasn't it, in the 4-3-3, so it was always going to be a bit low. But he did his job. I don't think he lost that many games. What was his win percentage at? Look, yeah, 88% win percentage. Is that the highest in the team? It's up there. So, backup left back. But I never felt like we lost when he played, and that was true. There you go. Backup right back. Had a lot more pace than I realised, and did not defend very well. So, probably got a bit lucky. It didn't cost us more often, but all's well that ends well. Dan Sanchez, backup centre-back. Yeah, absolutely solid backup centre-back. That's what you want. Good enough on the technicals, the bare minimums. He's got his first touch, he's got his passing, his 10, he's got a bit of everything there. Solid enough on mentals. He's decently quick and he's really good in the air. That is a good, perfect backup centre-back. CDM, probably lacking a little bit, but he's almost good, is it? He's almost close to being like a proper starting level CDM for a Premier League title winning team, but not quite there. It's probably a good backup in essence. And we signed him for £10.5 million, so another good signing there. Andre Gomez, backup goalkeeper. I mean, signed him for £15 million this season. He looks really good, doesn't he? Good solid backup goalkeeper there. Howard Townsend, he joined us for £12.5 million, and he was brilliant for a lot of years. He was never quite good enough as a starter. Like, he got a lot of opportunities, wasn't quite ever performing to the standards that we want, but oversaw a good period at the club and played a few of the crucial games for me in the title race this year and didn't let me down. So there you go. There was a youngster who's probably going to be pretty good, but I never got the chance because he wasn't really ever elite enough to be in the first team, but he's actually quite good. Then our youngster Peter Bauer was going to, I think could have been a wonder kid if he didn't damage his knee ligaments. And he came through our academy, so it cost us nothing. And that is it. That is your achievement reveal for this year. Now let's go back through some of the earlier seasons and see how we did. Okay, let's take a trip down memory lane. Right, it is April 14th. April 14th was the date that episode 1 of Moneyball came out. April the 14th. And today we are at October 16th. That is today's date. That's just crazy. That's crazy that it's been that long. It doesn't feel like it's been that long. That video has loads of views. It's unbelievable, man. So thank you to all of you. Anyway, yeah, let's take a trip to memory lane. So it is April. We were playing this save with this team. We were playing 3-5-2 and 4-2-3-1, weren't we? Or 4-4-2, sorry. The 4-4-2 all-out attack tactic stayed all the way through the save. That's quite funny. It made it stay all the way through, which is quite funny. The tactic went to this after playing 3 at the back. Now, I remember we didn't do as well as I thought we would at the start. I was actually quite concerned at periods of this season. Yeah, we had a pretty poor start there. And what I do remember though as well is Remy Vita, look at his draws per night, by the way, because all the stats can still be in now because we've got a save off from each season. There is one season that I forgot to save the game on, so it's going to be one where we skip, but that's fine. Draws per night for Remy Vita, 4.11. I'm going to be surprised if we get another player that's that high in the entire save all the way through as we go through the stats here. Yeah, that's quite interesting. Highest win percentage was Matthew Platt, our backup centre-back apparently, but it wasn't really a starter, was he? Let's say James Bree then. Look at the state of these players here. What's going on? Legend. Who was the top goal scorer for us? Josh Coyote, of course. Of course it was Josh Coyote. What a legend. Yeah, frustrating season was the first one. It didn't go the way we expected it to, but we started to figure things out a little bit, weren't we? We weren't really sure what stats we're looking at here and there. I was still putting a lot of these things together, right? So that's how we start off. Season 2, we managed to finish second and we got promoted. We only actually lost out the title 4 goals on goal difference, which is pretty good. Draws per night, so look at that again. See, Remy Vita again himself was the highest, but only 3.62 this time. Win percentage, there's, Jerry Yates, 78% win percentage, okay. Absolutely loving it with Jerry Yates. And yeah, I think, going back this such a long time ago, it feels like a different save. It feels like a different save as that long ago. Frankie Kent was essential this season. Him and Marvin Ekpiteta were fantastic. Marvin was a really good player, and so was Frankie. They were essential for the progression of the club. I think getting us up that season. So Mark Goosen doing a bit right back for us. Or Bleddy, how he was capitulating on his attributes, bless him. But he tried his best for the team. Shot on target ratio. Anybody high on that? The captain centre back. Burkott was loving it. Yeah, legend Nishan Burkott. And Bradley Dack we had. We didn't have Marcus Stackers. We did have Bradley Dack though. I mean, yeah, what can you say about this team? Gavin Bazunu, I didn't play him. That's why Pep got angry with me, wasn't it? Because I wouldn't play Gavin Bazunu. I played Jed Steer instead all the way through the season. And Herbie Kane was a pretty good side. I'm trying to think who was really essential here. Tackles per game. Ryan Ledson, of course. Who can forget that red card as we needed to win against Middlesbrough, wasn't it? The second game, that game there. Just the best moment in Football Manager history for me, that was. Where they were countering on us and we needed to draw the game, right? No, we needed to win. We needed to win, but we were winning 1-0 at the time. And they were countering on us from a corner. I said, just take the red. And he did. He took the reds. Absolute legends. Absolute legend he was. Because, yeah, Norwich were chasing us for that second spot the whole way through there. And that could have affected us and made us drop out of those automatic places at the time. Yeah, what a team. Legends. Okay, first season in the Premier League. We finished on 34 points and we just scraped relegation, didn't we? The 4-4-2 was a bit hit and miss. We went through long spells of not winning games. Look at that. Look at the state of that. I remember thinking after that Watford game, we'll be all right now. We'll be all right. This will be pretty easy. Nope. My God. Any big wins in here? Against a good home at Tottenham? I mean, home at Tottenham, after a 2-1 defeat there and a 6-0 defeat, that's pretty good. A draw at the Etihad, that's pretty good in that circumstance there as well. And there's some bad results in there. Christ. Dribbles per 90. 3.21 for Josh Bowler, who probably played 3 matches. Yeah. Theo a little bit. I remember signing Theo to a massive contract, 54 grand a week for years, and he was just shite, wasn't he? And it actually he was okay, but he just never played well for us. On target, he was getting their shots away decently well. Who wasn't a backup? Patrick William, yeah, he was a bit poor, really. I thought he was better than he was. Callum Robinson, who scored the goal, actually? Let's look at that first. Diaz got 8. He finally got one. See, he's not bad. If I had my 4-3-3 tactic that we used at the end, at this point, I think we would have done better quicker. Because like he would have fit that tactic perfectly as a striker. Absolutely perfectly. Yeah. Interesting. I mean, it'd be interesting if somebody does that. If somebody takes like the safe off from here and applies my tactic back to it, I wonder how you'd get on. Unfortunately, I think many of you are going to have enough time to do it because you're all going to be moving over to FM23, and I highly recommend that you do because it's going to be hopefully a great game for you all to play. But yeah, that was that season. We just wanted to step, didn't we? Just scrape through and then see what happened next season. Okay, season 4 was slightly better. We finished 12th. Bit more comfortable this time around. Tactics were exactly the same again. So it felt like we were making progression. We spent a lot of money this year, didn't we, though? We spent a bit more. Wow, let's spend 40 minutes. That's not too much, is it? Second season Prem. That's not too bad. Rocco Simic, £14.5 million. Like, that was a good signing. And we sold him for 50, I think, season after this. Rocco Simic was brilliant. Wisdom Ami. So that was an early sign to get Wisdom Ami in the club. And he became a player for the club for maybe a decade. I mean, 9 years he was at the club for. It was quite a long time. It was quite a long time he was at the club for. Draws per 90, yeah. Again, there you can see the same thing. Top goal scorer was Simic. Araujo's quite a few, though, as well. I thought was quite an underrated player for us at times. And Gary was class. Henriksen, I thought was going to be better than he really was. And Juan Manuel Cruz ended up being a pretty good player for like 3 or 4 years after this. And I kept getting recommended to sign him back from my scouts in future years, which is quite funny. And yeah, that was pretty much it. All right, see, this is where I'm going to get annoyed. Season 5, right? Season 5, we got into the top 4 and we're a Champions League team. In Season 5. Season 5. Look at it. 72 points. Season 5. We're looking good. Bit of progression. We scraped relegation. We were comfortable. Bang, top 4. Nice trajectory there. And we managed to have... Who was the top goal scorer? We had players such as Rice banging in the goals in a front two. Is it still 4-4-2? Yeah, we're still 4-4-2. Johnny Kenny banging in the goals. We had dribbles per 90 from Tariq Mitchell now at left back. We had Sorinul at right back. We had a good young British team full of lots of homegrown players that we could sell on for big money if we needed to. Brendan Johnson, one of them. It was all there ready to go. We were there. We were doing it, you know? Like, we were there doing it the whole time with the team. And somehow from this point, it went wrong. It went so badly wrong. I'm just looking right here. It's not going to be this year where it goes wrong, obviously. But it's the next year. It's going to be interesting to watch this, okay? So if we look at highest 1% players as well, Meslier was in the club. It's going to be interesting to see who, like, we let go that ruined this for us, really. Joaquin Go was terrible, wasn't he? Yeah, I misfired on him. And we spent a lot of money this year, did we? Again, not too much money spent again. So next year is where it's going to start to all go wrong. We had Marcus Leonardo as well. Okay, so season 6, where we have a bit of a climb down. It's not just those places, but to go from 72 points to 59 is quite a drop. We had European football as well, obviously. We got to the League Cup final this year. No, we did not. Not this year. No cup finals of yet. So 6 years in. Top 4, we got into Europa League, got knocked out in the quarterfinals. We were on the semi-finals. Pretty respectable, I would say. Tactics, again, at this point, had just been changed 4-3-1. And we spent a lot of money this year, I think we did. I was carrying over some of the last year, okay. We did spend a bit of money, though, this year. We had Esposito. I completely forgot about that. I got even out of Esposito at that point. Rice scored 20 again for us. Esposito scored 20 as well. Leonardo got 17. That's pretty good. Eli Miguel made his first season at the club and was obviously very, very good. I don't know, like there at that point, that's a really good squad at that point still, I would say. And spent a bit of money, did we here? But the squad's in a really good place and it's in Europe again, right? I think we just got into Europe again. Maybe we didn't. I thought we did. Maybe we did not. Is this after all the fixtures? But at that point, I thought, okay, nice settled squad, decent money to spend. We're ready to kick on from this point. And then it was yet another stagnated season. it was just as bad as the year before, if not worse. We started to really struggle with our tactics and our trajectory as a club, what we were going to be doing. We spent a lot of money again. And see, it's getting worse now. And all that looks okay. A lot of that is in installments and a lot of that is up front. So the financial situation is actually quite bad now, because that's 2 years in a row of a lot of signings, installments, and a lot of sales up front. And no European football for the second year in a row. We brought in Kubo to play as our number 10, left-footed number 10 that I like to have in that tactic. Oh, bloody hell. We had Mario Felipe, who ends up being a pretty good player. We ended up having to sell on, but he's a really good player there. You've got Andrea Fini, who's going to be one of the best centre-backs in the world of football over the next few years. What a signing for 22 million, by the way, he was. You've got Bettinho, who was actually a better left-back than I think I realised at the time. We had Andrew, who was a really good backup homegrown centre-back. Like, that is a really good team. Caro was pretty average, but okay. Roman was actually quite a good striker. I don't know what happened to him in the end, actually. We'll have to look back at the save. I don't know what happened to him. Jason Allison was signed for a lot of money, and he never got any better than this. He was still like this 5 years later, and he was no use to me then. And Rimula was a pretty good centre-back. I think I sold for a lot of money to Shakhtar in the end. But yeah, that was where you could see problems were occurring in the squad. Who was the top goal scorer? Couple lads there on the right wing, that was right. Yeah. I still thought we were in a good position to like kick on. Allison, John Lennon, who became like £100 million striker after I sold him. Like, that's a good squad there. That's a top 4 squad. Robert Wagner. Yeah, we really underperformed at this point. So like, win percentage. Yeah, see, that's not very high win percentage for anybody, is it really? 8 dribbles per 90 for anybody. Salas a little bit, but nah, not too great there. Season 8. That is consistently shite, isn't it? Let's be honest about it. Let's just be perfectly honest. That is consistently shit from us. That's 3 years in a row where we've been outside of Europe, and we finally changed my new tactic. But again, now that's too many years out of Europe. That crippled us financially. I mean, the squad at this point is actually quite good. Like, you've got Gabriel as a young striker who's okay. Fedida was a good winger. Balatovic, who was a really good striker who just wouldn't perform for us at the time. You have Eli coming into his own, becoming a better and better player. Dos Santos, who was just pace, wasn't really that good, I suppose. But Jesus Kellis was really, really good. Batata was half decent, not amazing. You've got a lot of good players there again to play any sort of style of football you want, probably. I think at this point I was starting to get a bit frustrated and confused about what wasn't really working. I think it's pretty much this season, I think. This season on... Oh, bloody hell. I think it was this season onwards is where I started to get frustrated, because I always felt like the team was underperforming. I wasn't too sure why, because this tactic should have worked with this team. Jesus Vasquez was a really good left-back. Ashwitz-wise, that is exactly what you need for that. For this tactic, if he was my starting left-back in like the last final season, that would have been fine. He was that good. Same for Ndai as the right-back. Would have been fine with that as well. You've got some good players there. Really good players. Is there a cup final this year? Last year. Have I missed a cup final yet? No, still no cup. Oh, I did. Okay. So the season before I actually missed, we actually had... Yeah, the season before... So season 7 was the year we had 2 cup finals against Liverpool in the League Cup and FA Cup. If we could have won those 2 there, even just one of them, 7 years in a trophy, it would have given us a nice little... I think, kick on, but we never got it. And it would have put us in Europe, wouldn't it? So this year, we would have been in Europe already. And if you're in Europe already, you could have potentially won the Europa League, get into the Champions League, who knows, right? But that's, yeah, that's something to factor in there. Season 10. Okay, so I think this is the one that I forgot to do, right? This is season 10 or 9. This is season 9. And I think I missed one again here. Well, I completely forgot to do with the stats for the year before. So we unfortunately didn't get to see it that much. Like, not live anyway, but we'll go back through here. So we finished 5th then in season 9. Average of 78 points. I mean, so we finished in season 9 on 70... So we finished in So we finished in season 9 on 78 points, and we were level on points with Liverpool and Chelsea, and still didn't make top 4. That was harsh. That was a little harsh. And do you have any finals this year? Semi-final? No, that was it for that. But yeah, the team's already been changed a little from this. But at this point, you can start to see where it's sort of trending to at this point. And yeah, Kalu joined the club, who was a half-decent player. Dolzazeli, really good player. Ed Nilsson, pretty good. Remy Collinson, who was going to be a good left-back for us for the next few years, but not amazing. Yeah, it's starting to lose its, like, I'm not sure we've gone forwards at this point. Pina's a good young player. I think we've moved sideways as a club at this point in terms of the actual team. Simic has come back to the club at this point for 8.75 million, which is quite funny. Yeah. Yeah, so I've saved it. I've actually missed the whole season here. So because that's the season we just looked at, was this one here, 78s. Now we're in this season here, but this team is actually from the next one. So this is season 10 and 11, let's say. I'd say that here. So 10, we finished on 60 points this time, finishing 5th again. We don't deserve top 4 on that amount of points. So if we go back to the season before, then this is the season that we're looking at. We got to the League Cup final again, lost again. And then we got all the way through. I won our first trophy, beating Lazio in 2031, which was nice. And it got us to top 4 next year, which was also very important for us. You're starting to see a few signings at this point. I mean, I don't know how many of these actually came last year. Let's have a look at last year's transfers. McKay, Rodney Trotter, those kind of players were the ones that came in that sort of time periods. Jin Zhao. I think that's where, I think we had the year before that, we'd sort of gone backwards, sideways. I think that was like another like tilt back forwards again. Nuno Leao was a good midfielder. Rodney Trotter was a good forward. McKay was a good centre back. Zhao was a good CDM. Dalbo was a really good forwards. There was some good players coming up here. Bruno Luis was good. Is that the one that ends up becoming my starting with winger? Oh, there you go. Fucking hell, Bruno Luis. It is that one. And then, yeah, Torone. So you're starting to see, Torone got worse as the years went on. But you can start to see the fabric of what's going to come going forwards. And then this season, what is this? I think what season is this now? 11. So now season 11, which is the season we can see right here. We then finished 3rd on 73, and I thought at this point, okay, now we're going to kick on. Next season's a title race. Next season's a European Cup win. We're ready. We're ready to go. Because you got Torone, who's in as a good striker. You got Del Boy, who was banging in goals as well, looking effective. Eli was just becoming better and better and better. Torres has become Torres, who we'd also signed as well, who was amazing this season. So if we look at the transfer we made this season specifically, let's have a look here. So San Renato for a lot of money, who looked pretty good. Lucas Silva looked like he was a world-class centre-back, and he was. Adillo was a good centre-mids. So was Lorino. I just thought we're ready to go next year. But Torres looked like he was world-class. We're ready to go next year. We're going to really kick on. And it didn't really happen, did it, at that point? But we're in a good moment here. So then season 12 comes around, and then we finish 6th. So we go backwards. And this is where I'm getting frustrated, because already we should have won the league by now, I think, really, in the Moneyball system. Going off of how quickly we won it on the other saves, we should have done. And not only have we not then challenged the title like I predicted, we've fallen right at the European places on 68 points. How did we go backwards that far? I mean, I just don't understand, like, how we managed to do that. We had Jack Good, who was a good youngster. We had, obviously, our Torres. We had Torone, Leao. We brought in John, who unfortunately got a bad injury, but was quite good. Eli Andrew then came into the team. We got Eli Andrew, went backwards. We had Amdouni, who looked amazing. We had Brunetti, who was a good CDM. Like, we had Tissot at left back, who was an upgrade at the time. Like, Pellegrini came into the club. Like, we got all these players in and went backwards. Played the same tactic. And then, in fact, no, I think I switched it, didn't I? Because I got fed up with it. Like, it was just sensational. We did play 4-3-3 this season. I only changed it right at the end. And then we had William as well. Like, it was just, that team should have been a title challenger with a good tactic, which I thought we had one. And we did have one. I don't know what happened this season, really. So season 13 comes around. 77 points, back up into the top 4. We, Pep Guardiola football is what we switched to. So we were having yet another disappointing season. and we were dropping points in this area, and it was clearly happening yet again. We were going to fall away. We weren't going to challenge. I thought we were going to challenge again. So we changed it to the pep football, I think around the Newcastle game. That game there. So it was like, I think it was like Wolves. So you can see the difference. Look at that. Like, we lost one game the whole season playing our pep tactic, and that was the Europa League final on pens. And we weren't too bothered about that because we're in the top four and we'd already won it. And won the FA Cup that year as well. So it was like clear identity. This is our new tactic. This is our new way of playing. We had De Grief coming in at right back. We had Camilo Cabello at left back. What a player. You know, it looked really positive. And it's like, okay, next season, we're going to be pretty good. Playing the pep tactic, which I feel like we had to play because we've done so well at the back end of the season before, which is this season. Bruno Luis was kicking on. Look how good he's got on here. Like, it looked like it was ready to take off yet again, right? It was like, we're ready. Let's go. Let's go and do it. And that brings us to the season of misery. So on stream, I got quite annoyed in this season because we won our first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We won 12 out of our first 13 games in the season. Not a draw. We won 12 out of 13. And we still weren't top of the league. Chelsea, who had come from nowhere, because every season before that they'd grossly underperformed, the entire say, come out of nowhere, and we decided, oh no, now we're going to have our undefeated season, which is going to be amazing. We're going to be too good for anybody. And time constraints were getting close. It was getting really close to the time of FM23. It was getting difficult for me because my schedule, like time-wise, I just wasn't going to have enough time to finish this series before FM23 came out. And I could see it coming. I was like, that season, I was thinking in my head, I had a lot of people on stream. I think we had a raid one day. We had a lot of people watching throughout the day. I did quite a long stream. And I was like, okay, this is going to be a season for us to do it. And when we didn't do it, I think you can see, if you watch back the VODs, if it's still up when you look at this, you can see I don't know what the word is. You can see how much it means to me to win it and why I need to win it that season. And it has to be that season. Because I knew if I didn't win it this season, I had one more year probably to do it right. And that wasn't just the Premier League, don't forget. That was also the Champions League. And the Champions League, right, you can play and win every game all the way up to the final. You get an early red card, whatever it is in the final. And that's it, you're done, all right? So, luckily, however, in the season, we did win the Champions League, right? We got that win. We got it on camera. We got it on stream. We got it on camera. We would have got it on camera anyway, but we got it on stream. We were pretty good towards the end of the season. And I pivoted back to our normal tactic halfway through the season when I realised that we were going to basically butcher the whole season after, I think, that game there. I think after the Sheffield United game, we played the old 4-3-3 all the way through to the rest of the season. And the only game we lost was United away. So that put me in good stead thinking, okay, next season will be fine. And we're going to play our old 4-3-3 again. A lot of the same players didn't work before, except for him. He was the difference. I mean, look at him. I knew he'd be the one for us up front. And Ernst as well. What a player. Can't say enough about him. Dribbles per 90 this season. Who had that? Did anybody smash that? Or nearly. So to have a winger that nearly got 4 dribbles per 90, that is really, really, really good. And look at this, right? So Bruno Luis, the season before the final one, only started 15 games for me. So he wasn't massively in favour by me at this point. You know? And it's funny how, if you look at it, the key passes per 90, dribbles per 90, where's he on that? So where are we looking at? Bruno Luis. So dribbles per 90 is top, and chances created per 90, he's quite high as well. He's the second highest winger after Eliandro. So looking at that, he would be the next player in, because the next best winger is Torrin there. And if you compare him and Torrin here, he's got a better shot accuracy, slightly worse in the air. His key passes per 90 is much better. His chance creation per 90 is better. Assist per 90 is better. Dribbles per 90 is better. Cross coverage is slightly lower. And tackle ratio is better for winning tackles. Everything he's better at, really. Well, most things, not every single thing. Obviously, Matteo played a lot more games. He had 49 stars. You can have some stats slightly higher, of course. But you can see there what a player really was. That leads us into the final season. And here we are, the final season. I cannot tell you, I can't believe it was 89 to 98 points in the end, because obviously we all know it was not that far going into those last couple of games, last few games. I've never been as exasperated in a title race at watching my team drop points, albeit not too much in the end, but watching Chelsea win the game after game after game, and knowing how, you know, teams can go on those sort of runs in FM, I was really worried and concerned. There was a time, middle of the season, I think I posted it on Twitter, I had dropped points. I think my first time I dropped points in 10 matches, we'd played 19 games, we'd won 17, I think drawn one and lost one, and they were still above us on points because they just weren't losing or drawing ever. And they played a few tough games away. And I was looking at the clock, looking at the dates, realising that this is probably going to be the last season. And for us to not do it would be a travesty. One, because I have finished the season in the series for everybody that put their about time. One, I had to finish the season in the series for everybody that invested their time into this series. And two, I think people invested their time as well, wanting to see it work, right? People didn't want to see me do a Moneyball series and it not work. You tuned, I think, well, I don't know. You'll know more than I will. I assumed, I got the feeling people wanted to see what I was doing because it was interesting and they wanted to see it work and eventually work. Go through the trials, tribulations of why it didn't work here, why it didn't work there, but eventually assume the process, trust the process, and the process will work. And for us not to achieve the most basic of targets, I felt was almost, I felt like I was almost insulting people a little bit with it. So I felt like that, you know, and of course, if time constraints weren't a thing, I'd have kept going until we won it. I would have done. But even then, it got to the point where I felt like that we really should be doing better here. And I felt the responsibility is probably the better words. I felt the responsibility to have this work this season, to get it done definitely in time for FM23 and definitely done in at least somewhat of a realistic time frame for a successful save. So, yeah, we went through. We started off with 2 draws there. At that point, I got a little concerned. I've got to be honest with you. I was pretty deflated after that game. I don't know when I turned it off. I was streaming all of this, which you'll see some of this in the previous episode, I would assume. And then I stop, and then we don't return until, when is it? When did we come back? Was it the Norwich game? It was, wasn't it? And then we came back from here today when I just did the recording. So, and we went to the treble. We were back-to-back European champions, back-to-back FA Cup winners, back-to-back Champions League winners, and then Premier League winners, along with it being a treble. So a perfect ending to the save in the end. And it was done like perfectly just in time. Like just in time. I'm still gonna have to work pretty hard and quick to get all these out in time, but it's done. It's been done well. It's been done well in the end. It's, you know, it ended perfectly. It ended the way that it had to end, and it ended with a beautiful goal from, I think my favourite moment will be the red card from Ryan Ledson. That's one of them. My favourite moment, though, will be us beating Chelsea down to 10 men. Classic. Us some red cards throughout the save. Absolutely love that. And Torrin to score that goal was just magical. The player that was bought on a Moneyball structure was not performing at the standards, and we had a slight falling out. I even nicknamed him Fernando Torres at one point and removed the nickname. That might have got confusing for some of you following on YouTube, why I bought a player called Torrin and all of a sudden there's no Torrin, but there is a Fernando Torres. It was the same player the whole time. And in the end, did he score the same amount of goals we wanted him to? No, but he became a wide player instead of a striker, and his output changed. He got more assists, he got more, well, you can just see there, look. He starts off with loads of goals, not many assists, and it flips in that sort of final season, and you can see how he just morphed into something different for us. And he performed at the highest level in the most crucial and clutch moments. And that is the thing about certain players in sport, right? That they can rack up any sort of stats you want in moments where it doesn't matter, where the game's won, or they're playing in a league where they can find it comfortable. It's hard to make metrics for stats when it really, really matters. Do they perform? And he had it for us in the end. He actually didn't perform in the regular season, in the main season for us most of the time. And then, yeah, we won the treble with a magical team, which we've already gone through the team, so I just won't do that again. Jules per 90, nobody was above 2.7, which is Eli Andrew was the top one. We had shot on target ratio. Taroni, 57%. That's pretty good. I mean, Luke Iredale, to have 56%, but to be a striker that started 36 games, that's pretty good. And a dribbles per 90 of 1.75 for a 6'4" striker that's really good in the air and dominant. That's the perfect striker. If you've got a striker that's 6'2" plus and he's got a shot accuracy of above 55%, header ratio above 60%, and he's getting dribbles per 90 of 1.5 or more, you've got a pretty good player. I can assure you, whether you think he is or not on your attributes, probably is quite a good player. We did it. We did it. We did it as well, because if it wasn't for the reception and the interaction from all of you watching now, and if you are watching this and you don't normally leave a comment, please leave me a comment. Anything you want, whether it's how you found the channel, whether it's how you found the series, whether it's how much you love the series, how much you think that I ballsed it up in whatever year it was, whatever it may be. Just know that my interest level in this specific series was all from your response, really. I love Moneyball. I love the concept of it. I always have and always been interested in stats in football and in sport generally. But to apply it to Football Manager, do the series the way that we have, is just been all thanks to the people that watched it. I mean, how could I do anything else from going forwards? So Moneyball will be a big theme in FM23 in the channel. It'll always be a theme for me. We'll do other series as well. It's quite nice to be able to do... We did the charity stream recently, and playing as Wimbledon, not having to look at stats, being able to see the attributes. I think what I'll always do going forward is I'll always have the stats, but I'll always look at the attributes as well for normal saves. But obviously for the next Moneyball save that we do, we'll do it in the same form. Either we'll do an attribute reveal every 2 years, or we'll just never do one and do it right at the end like I have done on my Twitch streams, whatever seems to work best. All I can say is, for me, thank you so much. Thank you to every single one of you. And that is going to conclude the Cult Football Manager channel with FM22. That is the end of our FM22 journey. We'll be back on FM23. I don't know exactly when. I don't know if it'll be like right when the beta drops. It might be a few days after that. I'm not entirely sure. I need to look at work schedules, all that kind of stuff, which hopefully you can appreciate. We'll definitely be back with a lot of FM series, a lot of FM content going forwards. Also, a lot more on Twitch. Going to be trying to branch out into using a lot of different games as well, like FIFA, Formula 1 Manager, Madden, Resident Evil. New Resident Evil coming out next year. I'd like to play all the Resident Evils at some point. So a lot of stuff on there if you like that sort of stuff. But from here, mainly on YouTube, it's going to still be predominantly Football Manager. There will be other stuff as well. That is it. We did it. Thank you so much, every single one of you. It's been amazing. It's been emotional. And it's been brilliant. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.